1971. We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the Dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the Cronus Megacorporation to develop and explore the Dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spires station was built on top of the Dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the Dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at Cronus. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the Dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell. A man with a mustache and a blue jumpsuit is standing at the window, studying the construction site below through the occasional break in the clouds. His badge reads Igor Patan, planner. The blue taps on the glass with one finger and gestures you to come and take a look. Seems like he doesn't speak English. The thin, pale young woman is sitting at the window, leaning against the illuminator. The glass is slightly fogged with her breath. She turns to you. Her shiny badge reads Tomoko Kimura, physiologist.
We've crossed the border. No way back now. Even traveling by the funicular wasn't so thrilling.
The white presses small hands to her blushing cheeks.
You were thinking, why have no children been born under the dome? I've got a working hypothesis, but I'm not ready to share it yet.
She says softly. as if answering a question you didn't ask. Kimura peers through the glass in the direction you indicate.
Oh, that's the aircraft that crashed into the dome during the first expedition. I believe that's a wing fragment, and there's some white canvas. What do you think that is? Maybe a parachute?
The white shakes her head, bewildered.
I just can't believe it. It's all true. We're on our way to meet the future.
Kimura shoots you a surprised look.
You're familiar with the details of the briefing, right? To put it simply, the dome is a selectively permeable environment.
The white draws an invisible hemisphere in the air.
Inorganic objects may exit the dome without difficulty, but any living creature dies if transported back to the outside world. That's why we're all stuck here for an indefinite period of time.
Kimura listens without interrupting, as if considering your every word.
It's quite possible. I would like to set up an experiment to test this in practice.
She cuts off abruptly. You exchange glances with the rapidly blushing Kimura.
Not in that sense. I mean, yes, in that sense, but it is science, you know? It's quite serious.
She purses her lips shyly.
This experiment requires at least one man.
Kimura blushes even more.
I mean, oh drat, you've got it all wrong. I meant to say that one of the participants in the experiment should be a man, and the other should be a woman, which should be obvious.
A guy wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand.
Monty James, Silverwing.
He glances down at your badge.
Ah, it's you. I found your file extremely interesting, and your CV, wonderful. Inspiring, really. When I had the opportunity to look over the files of my future colleagues, I couldn't resist. I don't want to sound boastful, but silver level clearance has its advantages.
Monty winks. Monty makes a ring with his thumb and forefinger.
You were number 63,784 on the waiting list, but you were lucky enough to get into the dome after only 16 months. Besides that, zero, nada, absolutely nothing. You're a dark horse for both the Foundation and myself. How exactly did you end up in this wing?
The silver shakes your hand for some reason.
In that case, I congratulate you heartily. You made the right choice. There are enough miracles here for 100 doctorate theses.
An uncomfortable silence rises between you, and Monty abruptly changes the subject. He taps the narrow illuminator panel with one finger.
Look, there's a storm rising. The lightning is strange. Green. Should lightning be green? This is my first sandstorm.
Monty nods at the... The orange is dressed in a new jumpsuit. The shiny badge on his chest reads, Quentin Bisley, Laborer. He's side-eyeing the screen skeptically. Despite his tired, grim expression, his gaze is open and friendly. However, the general impression is unmistakable. There's something frightening about Bisley. Bisley is bopping his head from side to side, as if in time with a melody only he can hear.
What?
He asks, continuing to shake his head. The orange's face stretches into a broad smile, baring his dentures to the world.
Like everyone, duh. In a black car, under guard. There's other guys, too. The ones who go through the front door.
He nods at the black-winged woman beside him. Her nose wrinkles in displeasure, but she says nothing. Quentin raises his hands to examine the devices.
They call them humane handcuffs. How about that? Truth is, there ain't nothing humane about them. They zap you real hard the moment you get your hands on a gun. But they sure look nice.
Bisley lowers his hands again and smirks. A tall woman is watching an ad playing on the monitor, arms crossed. The polished to a shine badge on her black overalls reads, Elsa Olafson, Security Service. She glances at you and offers her hand in a businesslike manner.
Greetings. Please take all necessary precautions. By that I mean, don't turn your back on him.
Elsa nods at the orange.
I just follow orders. Even if his crime was embezzlement, I have to keep him cuffed. Those are the rules.
Olafson shrugs in a sharp, mechanical way, as if racking the slide of an assault rifle.
Our friends from the administration didn't deign to inform me about this man's record. Could be I'm escorting a serial killer. It's corporate policy, you know.
She gives the silver a vengeful look. Patanin smiles as if the two of you were old friends, and his mustache bristles comically. Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground slowly approaches. It looks brown-black through the tinted glass, and smoky blue at the horizon. It almost seems like the clouds are pulling apart there. You scan the desert for any sign of the anomalies you've heard so much about. A flat, dark form hangs in the air above the horizon. It vaguely resembles a mushroom cloud, but with a much denser structure. In the distance, you can also see a strange, apparently man-made wall rising from the sand. All the radio ads and TV shows were telling the truth. This place really was made for those who place their trust in science. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The gathering storm drifts unhurriedly above the desert, a crown of green lightning flashing at its core. Clearly no ordinary weather phenomenon. It must be one of those anomalies. You freeze by the window, unable to avert your gaze. The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear behind the greenish glass of the porthole. The capsule shudders as the braking devices engage.
Come here. Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A cheerful man in a white lab coat grabs you by the sleeve. A badge reading Ludovico Nuzzi, scientific analyst, export department, dangles loosely on his clean uniform, which still smells pungently of washing powder.
Look over there.
He points upward with a sharp, wide gesture and hands you his field binoculars. You raise the binoculars to your eyes. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core glows with flickering green light and flashes rhythmically, and that rhythm seems to form a complicated pattern. Nazi bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we intercept the red and blue spectrums, we'll see something amazing. It's like a signal, some kind of message. I don't know.
Ludovico laughs unnervingly and snatches the binoculars from your hands. With the binoculars raised to his eyes, he minutely adjusts the focus.
It's a massive whirlwind north of Concord, and not merely some desert sandstorm. That's an anomaly. I hope it lasts long enough for me to make a proper observation.
The scientist looks blankly at you, then down at his lab coat.
Ah, this? This?
He lets out a blaring laugh. Ludovico points at the building behind him.
I work in Concord Station, categorizing relics. My job is to classify them by rarity. Then the blues package them, silvers issue the documentation, and oranges move them to the cargo capsule. Just like the one you arrived in.
Nazi points upward.
Then the capsule takes the relics way up there, all the way to the spire, then to Crystal Sands by the funicular. They get auctioned off and turned into money. It's not like I endorse this, but we all like ourselves a good paycheck, right?
He offers you his binoculars once again.
Do you want to have a look at the spire? It's amazing. But then you can look at the spire anytime. Now that sandstorm, that's what's truly amazing.
Nazi looks from you to the capsule and to the landing terminal entrance. He flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You'd better get going or you'll be late for check-in. Your colleagues are already inside, and the storm is growing stronger. Yeah, the storm is growing stronger.
The White mutters in fascination, eyes glued to his binoculars, which is fixed on the spinning whirl of clouds.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
I'm listening.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
It was nice chatting.
Just great, Mr. Monty James. With luck like yours, I wouldn't... Don't touch my things. Greetings.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Have a good one.
Hello, come up to the desk, please. I'll register you.
Your Selectron has not been properly authorized. Please visit the reception desk to register.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk with a bored, haughty look. He waves impatiently at you to approach. The employee glances at you indifferently. His upper lip is ever so slightly curled in contempt.
All new employees must register first thing. Come up to the desk, please.
The nameplate on the desk tells you you're talking with Dean Rayhet, administrator. The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhet produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the Cronus Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhet, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues and...
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
And together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod. The administrator squints at the paper in his outstretched hand before setting it next to the keyboard and entering the information into the database. Rayhet scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station. A special bus will bring you there after a series of briefings. Please pass me your Selectron so I can update the firmware.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the casing of his computer. The administrator returns your Selectron.
Cronus was founded as a society of scientists and military professionals. White Wingers have special privileges at most of the original locations built in 71 and 72. And there are still purely white zones in Magellan, too. Limited access laboratories, operating rooms, the morgue, warehouses, some parts of the reactor. I think you'll like it.
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details or just the short version?
Rayhet snorts.
To make it short, get your uniform from storage, your weapons from the armory, pass the Psi abilities test, and complete your weapons training at the training zone. Then learn how to use the scanner, avoid anomalies, and properly catalog anything you observe. Last, go to the waiting room and wait for the bus to Magellan.
Dean sits back in his armchair.
That's it. I hope there aren't any questions.
Rayhet claps his hands in satisfaction.
Great.
He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail to your Kairos. Check your new messages. Well, that's all, I think.
Mr. Rayhet, would you bring me a cup of coffee, please? Colleague? Well... I hope to see you again soon.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Around the aperture at the top of the dome, a transition station was erected, which was called the Spire. It's a pure engineering miracle.
Remember, our honest work will
I can see you, you know.
world a better place.
Welcome. We are Cronus, your reliable guide to the world of the future. When the dome was found, a small research camp was built nearby. The efforts of our brave men, it had soon become a city. But that was only the beginning. Around the aperture at the top of the dome, a transition station was erected, which was called the Spire.
Well, hello there.
It's a pure engineering miracle. Welcome. We are Cronus, your reliable guide to the world of the future. When the dome was found, a small research camp was built nearby. Thanks to the efforts of our brave men, it had soon become a city. But that was only the beginning. Around the aperture at the top of the dome, a transition station was
Our
erected,
honest
which was
work will
called
make the
the
world a better
Spire.
place.
It's a
World,
pure
a better
engineering miracle.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Welcome. We are Cronus, your reliable guide to the world.
It was
of the
nice
future.
chatting.
When the dome was found,
Hey, I saw that.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World, a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Greetings. Have a good one.
Ed, spit it out. I can see that something's bothering you.
Well, it's a bit of a private matter, you see.
God. Come on already.
We can't just hand Miss Norway over to the Silvers, see? She's unique among relics.
Ed, we already discussed this. The relic's effect is well known. It's nothing but semantic imitation. I wrote you about it, remember?
I know. Well, there's something else. She's rational. No, really. I've talked with her for hours.
Damn it, Ed. The relic doesn't speak. It's some kind of subliminal wave field messing with your head. It's you having both sides of the conversation with Norway. It's all inside your head. You're imagining that it's rational. That's it. We've gone through all that.
Doctor, what if it's the other way round? What if she made you believe she's not rational?
Eddie!
But you can't exclude the possibility, can you?
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Hello.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Have a good one.
Salt pans in the western region behind me.
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Glad to meet you.
A better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
was nice chatting. Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
As you can see, there are endless salt
Listen to this
pans in the
information,
western
useful
region
for
behind me. The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry
Please
as
handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Come on, don't be shy. Bye-bye.
Hey, you're at it again, asshole.
Okay, you got me, Butch. Old habits. You know that.
Shall we continue? What? Again? Well, hello there. It was nice chatting. Don't touch my things. Hmm? Yes? Bye-bye.
Hey, you. Yeah, you, lady. Stop blinking like a dummy. I'm talking to you. Don't scrunch your face at me. Hi there. It was nice chatting.
dry as a nun's gusset. What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
Hiya.
Sounds like a sci-fi story, but we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are ready. According to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the woods, with bars, casinos, spas, and therapy.
Wow, look what the wind blew in.
But I'm sure I'll come here in a year and we'll feel like a real queen. This is Victoria LeGrand.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Dome from the Inside, with me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region behind me. The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry as a nun's gusset. What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you. But what if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot? Sounds like a sci-fi story, but we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are ready, and according to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the west, with bars, casinos, spas, and therapeutic centers. I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year and will feel like a real queen. This is Victoria LeGrand, and the dome from the inside. See you next time.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of
Ladies and
damage, your
gentlemen,
life will be
this
forfeit.
is The Dome from the Inside, with me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region behind me. The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry. And I was starting to get bored. Inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you. But what if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot? Sounds like a sci-fi story, but we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are ready. According to them, there will soon be a real resort
Attention,
city in the west,
attention.
with bars,
Please handle relics
casinos,
carefully.
spas,
In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Come back
about
again.
you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year and will feel like a real queen. This is Victoria LeGrand, and the dome from the inside. See you next
Remember,
time.
our honest work will make the world a better place.
You see a tall scientist in a white lab coat, bathed in the dim lamplight. He almost appears to be hovering above the laboratory floor. The man turns at your footsteps. He's holding a paper clipboard and a pencil. His shimmering silver badge reads Sebastian Van Olden. He glances from you to the glittering watch on his wrist.
I want us to respect one another's time. Please speak loudly, clearly, and to the point. You must be the newcomer I was told about. Nice to meet you.
Finished with his unusual greeting, he offers you his thin hand. The amiability in Van Olden's eyes winks out like a light. He looks at you coldly, but calmly.
My instructions will take as long as I deem necessary. I lecture, you listen. Am I clear?
The scientist puts the clipboard aside, raises his watch for a closer look, and sets the timer. He shows you his watch dial.
According to the rules of this briefing, I have to touch on a large number of topics. Therefore, I will do so very briefly. Do not interrupt me. When I'm finished, I'll answer your questions. Within regulations, of course.
Sebastian produces his handheld and clicks some buttons.
I checked your scanner. It's working and is connected to the Minerva database. Everything you scan will earn you Kronos or Forefathers knowledge points.
The instructor watches you with displeasure.
Are you listening? Scan everything that might be of scientific interest. First of all, anomalies. They could be dangerous. Make sure to always have medication with you.
He places a canvas pouch in your hand.
This pouch is full of bolts. You can temporarily discharge an anomaly by throwing a bolt into it. It's primitive, but reliable.
Van Olden pushes a button on his stopwatch.
So, my oral briefing fell within the allotted span of time. Any questions you want to ask me?
The scientist glances at his watch again.
You're within the time limit for questions. The next step is training in the artificial ecozone.
He rests one finger on the button in preparation to start the timer.
You're going to go downstairs and scan relics. I will be monitoring your progress. Please note there are several radioactive anomalies in the ecozone. These are the same conditions you'll be working in the field. Radioactive zones and relics are quite common under the dome.
He smoothly extracts a jar of yellow pills from his pocket.
Here's your ARAD 3. And one more thing. Just a moment.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
The sun reflects blindingly from the sun, and the air is as dry as
Welcome
a
under the
nurse
dome,
gown.
an amazing
What
excursion to a world of new
inhospitable
technology. And receive a colorful leaflet.
You'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita.
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are ready, and according to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the world.
Van Olden gestures back at the ecozone.
You haven't completed scanning everything yet. Finish the task.
This is Victoria Legrand, and the dome from
Be careful around the anomalies. Touch one of them and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt at the anomaly to discharge it. Journal entry, a successful scanning attempt. You're doing all right so far. Go ahead. Keep an eye on you and make sure you don't screw it up. Journal entry. 2 objects scanned. And again, watch out for anomalies. Touch one and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt at the anomalies to discharge it. Journal entry. All 3 objects scanned. Come upstairs, employee.
is the dome from the inside. With me, Victoria Legrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans.
Sebastian meets you on the platform.
Your finishing time is within the acceptable range.
He clicks the stopwatch button, fixing the result time. The scientist turns back to his notes.
Not bad. One question. You observed several anomalies while scanning. Why do you think they appeared? I'd like to hear your opinion.
The scientist assumes a superior expression.
I knew you'd come up with something like that. I see you understand nothing about the nature of anomalies. So let me add a couple of points.
He glances at the shimmering blue light in the eco-zone.
The truth is, we don't know the precise reason for these phenomena either. We actually know nothing, no matter how much we try to convince ourselves otherwise.
Sebastian points a thin finger at the clustered lightning.
I personally believe that the anomalies are the dome's security mechanism. The ones you saw are relatively harmless, but there are different anomalies in the desert, phenomenon that toy with the human mind.
Van Olden clasps his hands behind his back.
I know you don't care, but I'll say it anyway. Scientists today are required to be wonder workers who can heal cancer with a wave of their hand and solve the secrets of the universe during their coffee break. For some reason, no one wants to understand that fundamental science is always an investment in the future. It produces no answers here and now.
The White's gaze strays back to his clipboard.
If something terrible happens under the dome one day, and I'm sure it will, science will protect no one. That is all. Off you go.
Detailed plans are...
Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come
Remember, our honor is a better place. World, a better place.
Victoria LeGrand.
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet. Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization.
Oh, good day.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World, a better place.
Have a good one.
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
Strangest to sci-fi. The detailed plans are ready, and according to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the west.
A middle-aged black is sitting behind the counter with his hands in his lap. The buttons and zippers on his uniform are polished to a shine, and even his badge, Winston Botherby, instructor, has been buffed so much it hurts to look at it. Botherby frowns as you approach.
Your first act is being late for the briefing. You going to be late for your funeral as well?
Botherby pats his holster.
No, you do not. If you wanted to, you wouldn't have showed up without your weapon. Go back to the armory and get your equipment.
The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry
technology
as
and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings.
As you reach to open the sliding door, an engineer in a bright blue jacket stops you.
Hold on there, Chief. It's out of order. See? You're a newcomer, right? It's a straight-up open house here today.
He offers you his hand. According to his badge, this is Maxim Penkovsky, technician. The technician slaps the door with one hand.
You have to wait until I'm done.
Penkovsky grunts angrily.
I wish I could. I'm gonna have to disassemble, clean, and reassemble it to get it working. It's work I don't need, and all thanks to some idiot.
Maxime extracts a thin, sharp, precision probe from behind his ear and dangles it in front of you.
Though there's another way. You want to learn something about picking locks? It's a useful skill in all sorts of situations.
He looks at you expectantly. The Blue's getting excited.
All right, looky here.
Penkovsky presses his pick lock, and an odd device resembling a hybrid of a screwdriver and a can opener into your hand.
Using a mechanical pick lock is easy peasy, no special skill required. They wear out after a few locks, while the old-fashioned kind is another thing entirely. Cheap, one use, but one has to know how to use it right. That's a tool for a master.
Maxime takes out another pick lock and crouches by the door. He gives you a quick lesson on how to pick a lock.
By the way, you can carry your tools in your belt. It's much handier to have them right there.
Penkovsky shows you his utility belt, where he keeps all kinds of tools and gadgets.
Actually, finding tools under the dome is no problem at all. There are even devices for hacking terminals and so on.
Maxime hoists up his belt. The Blue solemnly raises his index finger.
And one more thing. Always use brand name stuff if you can. Groovy produces good kits. Modus and Supercolor do too. They've all got fat contracts with Cronus, so they care about quality.
He looks at the door again.
Damn these locks. Though I'd rather be doing this than fixing hab pods. Those are a real pain in the ass.
Penkovsky gives you a patronizing look.
Because they're poorly made, warped from the heat, and the filters aren't worth a damn. The modules were constructed by marketing managers, not engineers. Building a city in the desert was also their idea. This project is all about PR. Cronus wants to show the world how tough they are. I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door. Yes,
Welcome onto
apply
the Dome,
is the
an
proper
amazing
word.
excursion to a world of
Just
new
don't forget to
technology
pick
and the
up your
riddles of an
uniform
ancient
and weapons.
civilization.
It'll be awkward for you if the door gets stuck again.
World a better place.
Listen to this information, useful for all wings.
Penkovsky wearily drags a sleeve across his forehead.
You're lucky. And I'm stuck here with the cleaning and repairing. When you get to Magellan, say hi to Duncan for me. Tell him he still owes me that Captain Hyena issue from January.
In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. A better place.
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away. A black lacquered pipe, an open logbook full of signatures, and a metal flip calendar sit on the counter in front of her. A small nameplate reads, Margarita Tkachenko. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Her voice is deep and gravelly. Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you, snorts, and retreats to the shelves. A couple of minutes later, Tkachenko returns holding a small pistol. She puts the gun on the counter and strokes the Bakelite grip with a strange affection.
Pistols are good. Not for everyone. One needs a special skill set.
The Black draws the slide with a snap, pops out the magazine with an almost imperceptible movement, and slams it back in place.
It's reliable. It's a nice heft, too, so even if it jams, you can always smack him on the head with it.
Tkachenko slides the pistol across the counter. Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick, yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
The Black points at a poster on the wall behind her.
Can you see what's written there? Clean and oil. I have nothing to add.
Tkachenko tamps down her tobacco.
Nice accuracy, but the stopping power is too low to call it a killing machine. Still, it's an all-around excellent weapon.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only rubbish. If you want the real deal, check out the weaponry shop. Or me. Wait a minute. Sign your name here in the meantime.
Margarita reaches under her counter and produces a set of ammunition.
A new set of ammo is issued for every task, but there's so much bureaucracy you'll go daft. Expenditure report. Form number 16. Disposal form. The Silver's running true to form. So if you need more ammo, I recommend you either search or barter for it. Or learn how to craft it on your own. These are useful skills. Trust me.
Leaning over the counter, the Black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's time for your training. Botherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit dotty, but a good man nonetheless. But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch you a line. Psychic my ass.
She winces in disgust.
In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Don't touch my things.
A lean Silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar clamped in his teeth is sitting in front of you. As you approach, he flashes a sly grin and slowly raises an outstretched hand above the table. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver badge reading Andrei Mihai, Science Instructor, floats up as well. The silver trills with laughter. He approves of your reaction. The objects fall back to the tabletop with a light clatter.
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales a lush cloud of smoke. The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study psionics. Give me your hand.
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. Andrei gropes your hand with an expression of fierce concentration.
So, do you practice? Bells, bulbs, brushing mugs off the table, huh?
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew, concentrates it.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple. Now to your questions, huh?
You don't have to ask him twice. Mihai picks up a light bulb from the table, gripping the base. The filament begins to glow faintly. Soon enough, it comes to full heat and glows bright orange. In a little over a second, the bulb is shining with a steady white light. The silver laughs contentedly.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
The air is as dry as a nun's gusset.
Ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
That in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot. Sounds like a sci-fi story. But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here.
The detailed plans are ready, and according to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the West, with bars, casinos, spas.
Botherby is polishing a button on the lapel of his jacket when you approach. He stops and looks you over. The black looks you over.
Yes, I see the weapon received checkmark. Looks like you are fully prepared to disappoint me. You are prepared, right, employee?
Botherby leans over the counter and directs you to the doors.
Behind this door is a combat simulation computer. Launch it and begin your course.
He raises his index finger.
The conditions in the training zone closely simulate those one would experience in the field. Your goal is to avoid getting lost and dying of dehydration. And try to aim the barrel away from yourself when shooting.
Pulling a notepad from his pocket, the instructor jots down your name.
Your goal is to hit 3 targets. I'm going to monitor you and advise as necessary. And try not to burst into tears. That's all. Go ahead.
We aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are ready. According to them.
I wouldn't cheer for random. Thrilling news. You aren't completely hopeless. Try not to get too cocky.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Dome from the Inside with me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region behind me. The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry as a nun's gusset. What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you. But what if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot? Sounds like a sci-fi story. But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are ready. And according to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the west. With bars, casinos, spas, and therapeutic saunas. I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year and will feel like a real queen. This is Victoria LeGrand, and the Dome.
Botherby nods grandly.
You made it through training without making a total fool of yourself. Congratulations. I'll send a report up the chain about your completely unanticipated success. You're dismissed, employee.
Is The Dome from the Inside with me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region.
Pity Stein isn't seeing this.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Employee, please come here. There's an urgent task for you.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Well, hello there.
The giant display glows welcomingly when you approach. A red light comes on under the screen's steel hood. The camera is switched on. A gray old man with high cheekbones appears and squints out at you from the screen.
Do you copy?
He leans close to the camera, his glasses glittering.
My name is Martin Kingsley. I'm Chief Officer of Magellan Base. We were supposed to meet in person, but unforeseen circumstances prevented that. One moment. I'll grab your file.
He reaches for something out of view and produces a thin folder with your name on the cover. Apparently, your file. Kingsley opens the folder to thumb through the pages. He marks one of the pages with a pencil.
White Wing. You know, I have a great deal of respect for our science division, and I find the people intriguing as well. I shouldn't ask, but how did you come to choose this profession?
The administrator is examining you steadily.
Yes, enthusiasm is good. Just mind the safety regulations and remember any damage to Cronus property is considered a personal liability. Mind that this extends to the research complex itself.
Kingsley closes the file and folds his hands in front of him.
Thank you for your reply. I learned a little more about you. Now I want you to learn a little bit more about us. Keep in mind, this is not a rehearsed speech.
He assumes a serious expression.
When the dome was discovered in 1971, it became a scientific and media sensation, a worldwide phenomenon, and likely the most significant discovery in the history of mankind.
Kingsley drums his fingers on the unseen desk, his gaze focused somewhere beyond.
I see. You were enticed here by radio advertising, telefilms, and all those interviews, billboards at every turn. Cronus wants the world to see the dome as a stage where something merry and fascinating is going on. But now that you're actually here, I want you to see the real picture.
You can't make out his eyes behind the glare on his spectacles, but he seems to be staring directly at you.
Here's the truth. Nobody was waiting for us inside the dome. It's neither a treasury of technologies nor a cemetery of the ancients. Perhaps what we're doing now is defusing the world's most complicated bomb. Will our mission thrive? I believe so. If we work together and everybody does their part.
He looks back at your file.
I say, do what must be done. Because that's what the concept of the 5 wings is all about.
Kingsley points at the camera.
You're from White Wing, and everybody else, even I myself, is working to allow you to do your part. But the inverse is also true. People are eagerly waiting for your results, discoveries, brilliant solutions to intractable problems. Some progress to justify all the catastrophes and tragedies that happen here under the dome.
Putting the folder aside, he sits back and stares at you in silence. It gets so quiet that the ticking of a clock can be heard through the speakers. Kingsley sighs quietly.
You were probably waiting for some boilerplate welcome speech, but I prefer to talk about real-world problems.
Martin nods slowly.
I apologize once again for this long-distance meeting. Now, as we don't have much time, I'd like to get to the point. I'm sure you're curious why you were taking off the bus to Magellan and brought here instead.
He moves closer to the camera.
I'm going to show you a short video. Please pay attention.
Kingsley's face freezes on screen.
I have an urgent mission for an employee of your background and qualifications. I'd have assigned someone from Magellan, but I'm short on personnel. That's why it has to be a newcomer. I apologize again for the rush, but it seems I have no choice.
Martin noisily clears his throat.
Maybe you've heard about Nashville Base. While preparing the materials for this mission, I came across a short documentary film about the complex. I think you should watch it.
The speakers produce a hollow click. Purple, gray, and black spots flicker on the screen. A blurred title, The Cronus Archive 1971 to 1974, was used in the production of this recording, appears at the bottom. The shadow of an airplane flies across a faded yellow desert. A cheery voice fills the room. Every day, our researchers uncover more and more of the dome's secrets. There is no doubt the underground structures, so-called objects, are organized according to some pattern. Though early on, the importance of the relics to scientific research was considered insignificant. The desert dims into the black of a chalkboard. White lines drawn by an invisible hand begin to sketch a schematic of the dome. The narrator continues. By 1972, however, many important discoveries had come to light in a period of only a few months, and the construction of stationary research bases adjacent to the more promising objects began. Personnel moved into Ankara in May of 1972, and within half a year, Boston and Dessau were also brought into service, though the biggest discovery was yet to come. The picture changes to a chasm suffused with electric light, people bustling about everywhere. The speaker's voice seems to come from a distance. In November of 1973, a massive network of underground caves and a structure of hitherto unseen complexity was discovered in Sector C-12. Soon afterwards, the construction of C-12 Nashville began. The camera glides through dim caverns as the silhouettes of bizarre mechanisms emerge. Metal structures loom up from the dark, surrounded by earth-moving machines and exhausted miners wearing orange jumpsuits. The speaker continues. C-12 Nashville is an innovative research complex located atop the primary relic mining location. The complexity of this object is unique. Communications. The film abruptly cuts out, and Kingsley's face reappears.
The rest of this information is classified. Hopefully you get the main idea. Nashville is a very special place, requiring people with both special qualifications and special clearance level, though yours will do for your task.
Martin adjusts his glasses.
So, the task. Nashville base stopped transmitting and receiving signals yesterday evening. A reconnaissance group was sent out earlier today, but we haven't heard anything from them yet either.
The chief officer rubs his forehead.
Normally, I would never give this task to a newcomer like yourself, but I just don't have enough people.
He looks down at the documents again.
Furthermore, the group was lacking someone with your specialization. It has been reported that nearby anomalous zones are unusually active. I suspect a scientific approach will be needed to resolve their communication problems.
Kingsley is looking into the camera once more.
Your task is to get to Nashville, figure out whatever's behind the communication problem, get in touch with the group, and work with them to solve the problem.
The chief officer carefully returns the documents to the folder. You notice his hands tremble slightly.
Go downstairs. The truck must be waiting for you in storage. This task is urgent, but a small delay is acceptable if there's anything you need to settle here first. That is all. Any questions?
Kingsley's hand reaches toward the camera.
Great to hear. Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you later.
Me so much? What did I ever do to you?
Let's save the drama. Where's the cargo manifest? I know what it is, I know it came from Campbell, but I can't accept the cargo without the manifest.
Manifests he wants. Always manifests. You're a cold man, Ulf. You're heartless. Hey, did you see that storm? Hell, you want me to go back out there?
Those are the rules, Todd. Nothing I can do about it. Sorry.
Damn it. Well, I guess I'm going back to Campbell then. Hey, can you spare a cig? I'll have a puff to pass the time until the storm ends, and then go.
It's my last one.
You're heartless, Ulf. Did I tell you that before? Well, I'm telling you again. How can I help? I'm listening. Bye-bye.
Glad to meet you.
The highway leading to C-12 Nashville is blocked by an anomalous storm, and you're forced to detour over a mountain pass. Soon, the radiator boils over, and you have to stop. Clara lifts up the hood and thoroughly examines the steaming radiator.
The engine's boiling, so we'll have to wait. You do know what happens when a car boils, right? It's...
The Blue shuts her mouth abruptly and stares anxiously at the dark funnel cloud dancing on the horizon. Now that you're on higher ground, it's clear that the storm has overtaken a fairly large section of road. It will be difficult to pass. Morgan turns on the radio. The air is filled with white noise and distant, barely audible voices. Clara shakes the device, then shakes her head.
See? The radio isn't working either.
The Blue looks at the engine again.
We wait. As soon as it cools down, we'll go. This storm worries me more, but it's not an insurmountable problem. I heard there are some relics at the local gas station that protect against anomalies. You could even accidentally step on one out here, they say. Mysterious are the ways of the Lord.
Morgan thinks for a moment.
It's a combination cafe gas station called Roadside Picnic. Never been there myself, but there's something off about it. There are several anomalies around there and weird relics. Supposedly, machines and structures decay much faster than they should in that area. But maybe that's just a story.
Your companion perks up a bit. She seems to be interested in this subject.
This place is registered as a resource anomaly zone. Do you know what that is? It's when the relics mined there have been studied and deemed useful. Not much is known about these relics. They dampen anomaly fields, even very strong ones. They're also found in other parts of the dome. They're known as bronze apples, or aluminum apples. I don't remember, but something like that.
The Blue looks at the storm once more.
There've been more and more of these lately, and they're getting stronger. I personally think it's divine judgment for how we've squandered the riches under the dome.
She sighs and squirms.
I knew people who got caught in one of those storms. They blow up so fast, there's no chance to get away. God rest their souls.
The Blue makes the sign of the cross.
it has tentacles like phalluses. That is so weird.
You mean seeing a jellyfish in the middle of a cafe doesn't bother you? You're definitely on the right path. Salutations.
I'm back again.
Wouldn't go in there if I were you. It's a dead-end job.
like phalluses. That is so weird.
Who the hell goes there? Come on in, since you're already here.
A weird, scruffy old man with a matted beard is sitting in front of the checkout terminal. The badge on his blue jumpsuit is long since bleached away. The name Aaron Melville is written there in black marker. With a groan, he picks up a magnifying glass and, peering through it, begins poking at the keyboard with one knobby finger. The computer plays a short tune. "Checkmate," the system declares. The old man angrily sets the magnifying glass aside.
A Grandmaster? You're a piece of junk, not a Grandmaster. And a cheater to boot.
He raises his head to squint in your direction.
Eh? What do you want? I don't advise eating here, and there's nothing to buy. And either way, we're closed.
The shopkeeper rises from his seat, and you notice he's sporting a peg where his left leg should be. The old man frowns and sniffles loudly.
You want to write a complaint? Go ahead.
He looks at you for a minute. When he realizes you're not going to complain, the surly expression slowly leaves his face. The angry look turns to a sad one. After a brief pause, he speaks again.
Yeah, well, I do have some problems.
The old man lowers his voice, almost to a whisper.
The oranges pick on me. Escapees by the look of it. They demand food, money, gas. I've got a turret at the entrance, but it doesn't do no shit. I stand in, screwed something up with the circuitry in the basement. I'll take a look when I get a chance. But with my leg acting up, those rickety stairs just ain't my cup of tea. So here I am, sitting and playing chess, waiting for those bastards to come back.
Melville's getting grim again. He adds,
It's my business, and you'd best stay out of it. But if you want to, here's the key. Go down to the basement and see if you can do something with the generator. Maybe you can get the turret to work. That'd make things easier.
The old man throws up his hands with a scowl.
Then go fix it.
Melville reluctantly points a crooked finger at the front door.
Go out there and walk over to the gas station. Go down to the basement. There's an anomaly, a tree. It's glowing. And there are some golden thingies hanging off it. We make special devices from that fruit called anomaly protectors. Should one be laying around on the floor, go grab it, then put it in the truck and bug off to... Where was it you was going to? That's where you bug off to.
The blue starts slapping the pockets on his overalls. After a little digging, he pulls out a little key on a shoelace.
Only take the device, you hear? It's company property. I should be charging you myself, as a matter of fact.
The old man sits at the counter with his head propped in one hand.
No food, no supplies. The coffee is horse shit. Get out of here. Oh, it's you again. How should I know? You came in and sat down. Ask them yourself.
The old man grumbles. The old man sniffs, annoyed.
Get some noodles from the vending machine there. I told you we're closed. There aren't any deliveries.
Oh, hello there.
Why should we depend on rational knowledge? Reason leads us up a blind alley over and over again. There are only two true paths to knowledge. Mystical epiphanies and my books.
Right. What has reason ever given us anyway?
As you well know, 2 + 2 = 4. The Earth goes around the sun, and you should wash your hands before you eat.
That is true. And that means everything else in this book is also true.
Cyborgization of the soul with assistance from machine elves from another dimension is our only chance to reach exo-nirvana.
Wow.
These so-called mentally healthy people can't count on ascension, even with help from the forefathers' UFOs powered by the energy of the lower chakras.
I pity them.
The visible world